minute what's going on. So this is the August 2024 live stream. And yeah, so a lot to explain right away. Today's September 1st. We're doing the August live today because I had a bunch of trainings that I had to do last Sunday. Basically, I have a meeting today as later in the day. I completely am not put together. I've had several issues today. There's no water coming out of my shower, so that's a thing. I'm responsible for getting it fixed, but you know, can't get it fixed until I know about it, and I knew about it when no water came out when I went to get ready for the stream. So things like that have been happening all day. If you're wondering why we're streaming vertically again, when we had all those issues the last time I streamed vertically, it's because I have to. So I hate this. I think we're gonna have the issues that we had before. And also it doesn't really work with my tripod or ring light or anything. I just rigged it up to work as good as possible, but I'm definitely like kind of sideways and also tilted the wrong way because I just can't get this to work right. I went to go live and I noticed when I scheduled the stream this morning, or a few minutes ago, that there was no, normally in advanced settings, it lets you select whether you want to go horizontal or vertical, and it just wasn't there. So then when I went live, I just assumed that it would just stream whatever direction the phone tilted. And that wasn't the case. It kept telling me to rotate the phone. So you have to stream this way now, which is just bizarre for someone on YouTube for so long. Back to the point where if you guys watch one of the first videos that I ever put up was back 10 years ago in 2014, and go read those comments. It's the video of my DNA test results. People are going wild in the comments, absolutely furious, so angry with me, just telling me that I'm the dumbest person in the world. Why would you ever film a video, you know, upward? And here we are 10 years later where, you know, it's even required at this point. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe this is only for live streams, but as I've told you guys before, I really wish that YouTube would give us notification, communication, anything. It's every time when a new feature like this launches or a change happens, I go to the live stream and everything's different, and there's no way for me to for it. So that's what happened again today. Looks like my hair is not cooperating, so I'm gonna be doing this all day. So anyway, there is a lot going on. Holy shit, this has been such a busy month. Just to give you guys a heads up, yeah, I'm gonna assume that we're a lot of people coming in that are just scrolling through the live feed, because now required to stream live. So hopefully some of my mods will come on. Speaking of that, I'm gonna I've got my laptop over here. I'm gonna bring up the chat, especially in this format, in the vertical format. I don't see the chat very much. I can see like 2 comments max. So I'm gonna bring this up over here so I can scroll through the comments and get back to everybody. So it's been 5 weeks since we did the July stream, and I think I had just moved house here. Yeah, AJ says, I hate the vertical format. I hope they change it. I don't think they're going to. Like I just said, they literally just changed it to require the vertical. And I know that they're just copying off TikTok. I mean, I know that's why it's happening, but it should still be an option, especially if they don't turn off that feature where if you stream vertically, that it goes into the lives. Like you go into Reels, and then from Reels you can pause it and then switch over to the tab that says Lives, and then you random people. And that's what's happening is we'll get a bunch of people on here that are going to come from that. I have no idea what's going on with my hair. It's all frizzy and it won't stay up. But anyway, I have so much to tell you guys. First of all, AJ, we had so many trolls that time. I have 4 mods, and I communicate with them beforehand. I'm like, hey, if you're on the stream, you're on the stream. And I think so far we've had at least one on every stream. One of them did tell me they'd be here today, but that was a week ago, so I don't know for sure. Yeah, hopefully. I guess the positive is the last time that whole thing happened with the vertical stream, I did get like 50 subscribers that day. So I guess that was nice. I'm gonna have to get a whole new attachment for my ring light to hold the phone properly. I had to use the one that holds it vertically and just like bend it. So it's like completely off on one side of my light. It's a whole mess right now. Anyway, so yeah, the last live stream was right after I got here to Indiana. And the first development that I gotta tell you guys about is after that stream, like literally the next day. Hey, Heather. The next day, I think my car blew up. Now at the time I was sure it blew up. I'm a little less certain now. I'm gonna tell you guys what's going on with it. So I was doing DoorDash, and you guys know that only 3 weeks before where I'm talking about now, I'd had to replace a whole bunch of stuff on the car, right? Because it was overheating and the radiator had cracked. I got all that fixed, drove like 7 hours away, no problems with the car getting out here. I got out here, I think Thursday or Friday was the first day that I had access here to the house. And then I think it was on Monday, the following Monday, that this happened. Yeah, because we streamed on Sunday and the next day was Monday. So basically what happened was I was doing DoorDash and that red temperature light came on again on the car. And I thought, I could drive 7 hours straight, this doesn't do this, but just driving around this little town, it came on. So I was like, shit. But it was only flashing, it wasn't solid, which if it's solid, it means it's actually overheating. If it's flashing, it just means that it's like getting too hot. So I pulled it, let it cool down, and it didn't cool down all the way, but I was like, you know, I'm only a mile from home, maybe I can drive home. So I started it up, and I drove about half the way back to the house, and flashing again. So this time I pulled over, I sat there for like half an hour, let it down all the way, and then I drove it back to the house. And by that time, it was like dark, so I couldn't really tell what had happened. I put the hood up, but couldn't see anything. The next morning I went out, and there is something everywhere under the hood. Like literal like pools of some kind of liquid that's like sitting on top of the engine block, and I still don't actually know what it is. It looks black, but not like oil black. It's like blacker than dirty oil black. So I don't know what it is. I tried wicking it up with a paper towel, and when you do that, it doesn't look like oil at all. It is like a light brown color, so it just kind of looks like dirt. I checked the coolant. It's full. It looks fine. I checked the oil, and here's the point. Okay, so I checked the oil because you're supposed to see, you know, if it has like that milky consistency to see if coolant's getting into it. I wouldn't think that's the case because I mean, if the coolant's full, it's not going anywhere. But anyway, so I looked at the oil, and it's really, I mean, it's low. It's at least 2 quarts low because it didn't come up on the dipstick at all. So I was like, shit. Because I just got out here, I knew I didn't get paid for another month, I'm dead broke, and now the one way that I have to make money until my first check comes in, I can't do. Because I'm, you know, now I can't do DoorDash. So, to jump ahead a month, I got paid this week. It's a reduced amount because I borrowed some money against my first check to get out here and get the car fixed in July. And yeah, so basically what the situation is now, yesterday I went to Walmart, I got 2 quarts of oil, and I got a headlight because it has a headlight out. It's had that out the whole time out here. But what's weird is about a week ago, car still starts, it runs fine. A couple times I started it just so battery didn't die within the month. And one of the times I did that, I drove around the parking lot for about maybe like 10 minutes. We have a pretty big parking lot out here. And I just drove around kind of in circles and for about 10 minutes, and it didn't overheat. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. Anyway, so now I won't have time until tomorrow. I'm gonna put that oil in there. I'm going to drive it to the gas station because it's almost out of gas. Just get $10 in gas. And I have a tire that is low thing. So I'm gonna fill that up at the gas station. I suppose that as long as I don't go on the highway and just take the local roads, it would probably be fine to take it to the grocery store, things like that. Just because of the high mileage, I had already not trusted it. I basically said once it got out here, it was just going to be an around town car, and that seems like what it's going to have to be now. I'd already planned that, but now it definitely has to be that, because if it's just going to randomly overheat for no apparent reason, I can't trust it. But if I'm on the local streets, if it starts doing that, I can just pull over before it completely overheats. So yeah, as of right now, I can't tell what the mystery liquid is. And my dad, he had a Datsun 210. This is like back in the 90s, and I think it was like an car. It went through at least a quart of oil a day. So if it's a situation like that, we'll just do that. It'll be my car to go run errands, go to the grocery store, stuff like that. I'm rebuilding my finances and everything. That's all I really need. If I need to go home or if I need to go to Indianapolis, I can just rent a car. And yeah, so we'll figure that out. Keaton, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Where are you at now? I am in Bloomington, Indiana. I'm living at Indiana University. So I got a job out here since, July 26th, I think. So a little more than a month. Also, guys, there's 18 people on the stream now. I apologize. I made a community tab post last week saying that I was going to be doing the stream. But I've had a rough week. There was a lot going on with work, and then like I told you guys, I was running late because no water came out of my shower this morning. So that's a whole issue I got to figure out. But basically I scheduled it last minute rather than like putting it up earlier in the day, and then I went live just a few minutes later. And then of course I had all the problems with the vertical streaming format, so we'll see. Max says, do you think this frat is going better? So far, yeah. I mean, my boss did bring up what happened to WVU with me, and he essentially told me that the place is a mess. So I guess this couldn't be as bad as that. I really haven't had issues with any of the guys here. The issues here is there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of work that wasn't done last year that should have been done. So I'm getting caught up. Like some of the guys don't even have beds. That's going to come in on September 5th. We got an order placed for that. We're dealing with some food service issues. We're dealing with some like lock and key issues. I think once those major hurdles are overcome, and then once our fire inspection's done, because that's a huge thing I have to prepare documents for. After that, I think that things will be a little easier. And they should be easy again pretty much until move out. But by the time move out comes out, or comes in, oh by the time move out comes in May, I will have so many things organized and ready that it shouldn't be all that bad. Move in was just really bad because the guy was here before me basically like didn't do a lot of stuff that he was supposed to do. And because of that, so anyway, he didn't do a lot of the things he was supposed to do, and because of that, there was so much that I had to do before I could even start on the things I was supposed to have had to do, if that made any sense. But yeah, as far as the guys, I haven't had any of them. I don't know, maybe it's just like an Indiana thing, maybe it's a Midwest thing. Everybody here seems to be nice, so that's good, at least. LA says, sorry you were continuing to deal with the car. You were looking great. Looks like you're slimming down. Well, thank you. I was hoping somebody would say, because I don't know looking at myself if I have or not. This does somewhat have to do with the car. I'm going to explain it a little bit because both of those comments are actually related. So yeah, the car's been a major issue just because it broke down basically as soon as I got here. I knew I wouldn't get paid for another month. So even what it needed was a couple quarts of oil. Since it wiped out my way to make money, I had no way to even check that, to get that oil and check that until the next, so to go to the next step and try it and troubleshoot it. So that actually became kind of an issue. Basically, what ended up happening was I went to, sorry guys, I keep getting distracted. Basically what happened is I live about 2 miles, I live on campus, but I live about 2 miles from like the core of campus, like the main downtown part of campus. And over the summer, a lot of stuff was closed. And there is a local bus service that's free. The university buses are free. But during the summer, they only ran a couple of them, and they only ran at like kind of like daytime times, and they didn't run on Sundays at all. So there was a lot of days where I ended up walking a lot. I walked to campus for stuff. I walked back. Sometimes I could catch a ride to campus, but then I'd have to walk back in the evening. So I was doing, there were a lot of days where I had 20,000 plus steps, up to like maybe 30,000. And so anyway, I was putting in a lot of work. And you combine that with, I was essentially starving to death. Because I get free food here, but food service didn't start until the 21st. So I was here for the remainder of July and then like the first 3 weeks of August without having any food, essentially. And I had no money to get to, like, because I couldn't drive the car, I couldn't just go do DoorDash to get some money to get groceries. So that was a huge issue. My food intake was severely reduced. Now, what I ended up doing is I ended up signing up to do DoorDash for bicycle, and then I would walk the routes. Now, I couldn't make very much money doing that, maybe like $10, $15 a day, but it was enough if I ate very cheaply that I could go and, you know, get something. And I did go to a food pantry once. I didn't actually get hardly anything from them, but that was a help. And then basically, I was supposed to get paid on the 31st, so it would have been paid yesterday. They ended up paying me on like the 26th. So basically, I realized that August was so hard because I was like struggling so much. And guys, I see I'm getting behind on comments, but I'll respond to everybody once I explain this. But I was struggling so much, and then I realized, hey, the reason that I'm going out and working for hours a day only to make $15 is because I need food, and I don't really need anything other than food. So once food service starts, then, you know, I don't have to do all that much. So that was part of it. And then another part of it is I haven't been eating fast food. I did eat at Wendy's yesterday because I had a rental car to go run some errands. I signed up for Zipcar, so that's a thing that's available here on campus. But yeah, I had a rental car for 3 hours yesterday. I just went and ran a bunch of errands, went to the post office, FedEx, Walmart, and basically when I was doing that, I stopped Wendy's because I hadn't eaten all day and hadn't had fast food really, except for a couple of occasions where I signed up for the app and got something. I hadn't had fast food. It's increased activity, it's decreased food consumption, and then also like just not eat food. Because even though like the dining hall meals aren't great quality, they're a lot better quality than eating fast food for every meal. And I was forced to do that when I was homeless. So yeah, it's a combination. Now, weight-wise, if I walk down to campus, there's a place that I can go weigh myself. I didn't weigh myself for the first few weeks I was here because I didn't know where the scale was at that point. But once I found it, my top weight was like 206 point something. That is the most I've ever weighed in my life. In high school, when I was a junior, I was on a medication that made me gain weight like crazy, and I got up to 205. So I went back to more than that, the highest I've ever been. And then I went, now I went down from like 206 to like 199 to 197 and then back. I think I was back up to 199 last time I checked, like a few days ago. So I've only lost about like 5 pounds. I thought, okay, good, I'm under 200 now. I probably have like 20 pounds left to lose. But then I checked my BMI and it says I should be 150. And I'm like, there is no way in hell I can lose another 50. So yeah, there's no way that I can actually, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get down to 165, 170, because I think that was like a pretty stable place that I've been before, and I'll see how I look. I have been down to, yeah, like 160, and people will make comments about like if I'm sick or because like I look so skinny. So I might not want to get down to that 150 that the BMI says, but I definitely feel a little bit better-ish. Okay, sorry, I'm way behind on comments. Let me get back to you guys. And before I do that, I'm gonna show you, I think I had this in the last live stream. It is a clean canteen. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. It's Subaru and REI. I went to an event of theirs. It was 2017, 2018, that they had in Columbus, and got this. This has always been my cup just to use around the house, and it disappeared when I was in Morgantown, and I found it in my storage unit. So this is part of me getting my life all back together. Drink of the day is nothing fancy, just some Diet Pepsi. All right, now, comments. Okay. Sorry guys, the computer is up here. Keaton says, so you got the job, that's cool. Yep. AJ says, can you tell us about the meals there? Are they good? So what I've found so far, and it's really only been for the last couple weeks, I've had meal service. I don't like everything. Um, it's the food is so we have a chef and a sous chef, and it's not like I thought it was gonna be. Like I thought it was gonna be like we have a private chef and it's gonna be like um, real fancy stuff, and it's not that. It's like food service grade stuff, but um, there are a few things that are pretty bland and just like, didn't really like them. But there are other things that are really good. They might still not be the greatest quality, but like they're really good. Chef made twice now. He's made different kinds of stir fry, and those are really good. Um, Tonight we're having some kind of it's called pizza baked pasta. So it's basically everything that's like it's basically pasta that has all the pizza toppings on it and with sausage, a side salad, and breadsticks. And he made those breadsticks the other day and they were amazing. So, I mean, I'm sure they're just frozen and he warms them up, but like, still, they were great. So, I'm looking forward to dinner tonight. Depending on how long the stream goes, I might have to jump off early. I do have a meeting later, it's after dinner, but I would like to go to dinner to actually get some food. That would be nice. Um, so I guess I have to totally withhold my opinion, like a definitive answer, until I get more experience with that. But it's good free food. It's only 14 meals a week, so on the weekends I have to fend for myself. They do, I think it's breakfast only on Friday, or maybe it's breakfast and lunch. But then all day Saturday, Friday night, and then Sunday during the day, I'm on my own. But then service starts back up for Sunday dinner. And then there's somebody called Azcodan who posted a bunch of comments, but Case deleted them. So I don't know what they said, but that's good. So Case is here, so we have a mod. That's good. I was worried about that because if you guys didn't catch it, YouTube is forcing me now. It's not an option anymore. They are forcing me to stream in this format, and that was something I didn't know until I tried to stream today. Max says, I saw Avril Lavigne in Simple Plan. It was good. Avril was really good, and Simple Plan was really good. They exceeded my expectations. That's cool, man. I'm not super familiar with Simple Plan, but I do know who Avril is. I liked her a lot in high school. I think Skater Boy came out when I was a senior. And my ex, the girl, well, not now, but when she was in high school, she looked like Avril, like a lot. It's Nay. That message was also deleted, so I don't know what that was. TM USA. Okay, so TM USA is also here, so we have two mods on. Let's see. Case says Left Shark here. Just a heads up, there is a couple of spams going on this live stream. Yeah, I think there's nothing we can do about that. I'm here because I don't know if you heard, when I went to stream today, there's no longer an option to horizontal stream. You have to vertical stream. And of course, we know the problems in the past with the vertical streaming because that's when you get the random people coming in. I'm still of the mindset where, here's what I was thinking after that happened that day. We had the trolls, but I got 50 subscribers in a day. So that was nice. But then I thought, well, surely these people that, the interactions with them were so horrible, surely, like, I'm gonna now get nasty comments on regular videos and stuff. But that didn't actually happen. So I'm like, well, I guess if I get a lot of subs and I don't have any, like lingering consequences coming. I mean, I guess it's kind of nice. And now that we have to, I guess, I mean, that's like sort of the silver lining, I guess, of this. But I'm still of the mindset that eventually what we might do is, you know, moderators and regular subscribers to the channel, I can do a separate live stream. Like literally what I might do is I might like both of them at the same time. Like film on one device where I'm streaming to subscribers. And then, well, this is actually, I was going to do and then vertical on another device. Now that I have vertical, maybe I'll do like subscribers and then anyone or something like that. Maybe there can be an unmoderated chat. I'll figure it out eventually. But every time YouTube changes something, I have to like recalculate what I can do. Give me a second. I gotta blow my nose. I'm allergic to something in here. I think it's dust because I haven't been able to clean my place yet. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so Erwin Curtis says 4 things every man should have each day: 6 unsalted raw almonds, garlic, powder bouquet, cinnamon, and fish oil caplets. So I don't take any kind of supplements. I'm not opposed to it. It's just not a point of having my life together that I'm at right now. The fish oil probably would be very beneficial to me because I don't eat fish. Hold on. Whatever is going on with me. Whatever is going on with me, whatever I'm allergic to in here, makes me sneeze, and then I'll probably have to go blow my nose again. Okay, so yeah, because I don't eat fish, so I don't have that in my diet. Maybe like once a year, I can eat one of those freeze-dried packets of tuna, because tuna I can stand better than other fish. And I do that sometimes just to get some of those oils and like the selenium, otherwise get in my diet. I like almonds. I don't know that I'd ever just like pick them up and eat them straight, but I like them in things. I love garlic. Like I said, I'm having some garlic breadsticks tonight, so I'm pretty much covered on. And I like cinnamon. I try not to eat. Cinnamon's usually put in like baking stuff, and I don't eat like cookies and cakes a lot, but I do love cinnamon, so I don't have a problem with that. AJ says, sounds like you will be eating better than you have for a long while since they sound well-balanced, nutritious. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask Chef that. I know he decides on the menu, but I think it might be based on like guidelines from a dietitian or a nutritionist. So I'll have to ask him about that tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm either going to sneeze again or I got to blow my nose. Hold on. Okay, that might be a recurring theme throughout this stream. Basically what I think it is, well, first of all, the vent work in here is just disgusting. Because I haven't cleaned my room yet because I haven't had time, and that's partly the answer to somebody else's question. Like, it's just like caked black fuzz coming out of all the vents, and I'm sure that's not good. But also, the last person that lived in here had a dog, and I'm not allergic to dogs, but there's just a ton of hair everywhere. Now, I'm in the bedroom right now, and I'm not using the bedroom. The office is cleaner, and I'm still sleeping on the floor in the office until I get the chance to clean the bedroom. But there's so much stuff that wasn't done for the guys when getting them moved in, and now I got slammed with this fire inspection thing that I have to dedicate like an entire week of work to, that I'm not going to be able to clean my room until all of that is done. But yeah, AJ, I'll try to remember to ask Chef about that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely better than fast food, for sure. LA says, have you been able to get a bed and any furniture? So when I moved in here, there was a bed in here, which I thought was weird. This was not supposed to be a furnished apartment. And there's a few random furniture items in here. Like, well, the chair you guys see, this was in here when I moved in. But there was a bed, and it was 2 of the dorm style beds set side by side. So they're twin extra longs, but when you put those side by side, it's the same size as a king. I don't want a king size bed. Queen I'm fine with, full I like. I just think a king is too. But anyway, it had the reusable mattresses that they use in their rooms on it. But it had like sheets on it and stuff. It was real weird. I'm like, there was like someone else's like full on bed just set up in here, and it was weird. I've torn it apart. But I've torn it apart. I'm glad I didn't sleep on it, even if I would have taken like the sheets off and stuff, because there is just so much hair around the corners. I'm sitting in the corner where the bed was, and I think it's hair. It doesn't look human, but I've never seen the dog, so I don't know what it looks like. So other than that, I've not been able to get any furniture. I did my slats for my old bed because I want to buy a new bed from IKEA, but the slats are like an extra cost on top. And I have these old ones from my old IKEA bed from college, and that bed fell apart, but the slats are fine. The only thing is some of the staples have come out of the ribbon that connects the boards. So I lay them flat on the ground and then go get our contractor's staple gun and staple them back into position. But other than that, it's going to save me, I think, was it like $60 for slats or something at IKEA? It's going to save me that because I'm going to reuse those. I'm also not going to get the same bed I had before. I'm going to get a cheaper one. It's not the cheapest that IKEA has. It's like one step up from that. And I think it's called like Neiden, like Neiden. I think that's the one I'm getting. It's bare bones, but that's fine for me. And yeah, so I'll get the bed and I'll basically sleep on the slats on the yoga mat that I've been sleeping on with the sleeping bag, and then maybe a paycheck after that, then I can get the mattress. So this is a very gradual process. And of course I got to get the room cleaned. And I did, we're going to talk about that because we're going to talk about the goals from last month, but I have a carpet cleaner coming in, and well, maybe an actual cleaner too. That's a little less settled, but I'm definitely getting the carpets cleaned in here. Oh my God, okay, my nose has got to stop. It's like a vicious cycle, because what'll happen is once it starts, I'll sneeze, and that makes my nose run. So then I'll blow my nose, but then that irritates my nose, and then I sneeze in, and then it, yeah. Erwin says, high histamine levels in the air boost your vitamin C levels. Well, So it could be also I'm in a place I've never lived before. So there's probably, yeah, some sort of pollen or something I'm not used to. Although I think it's just how dirty this room is. I got a welcome basket from Alpha Chi Omega, and there is some emergency in there. So I can do that. Man, orange juice is really good. I wish we had that. I'll have to get that next time I go to the store. Tea over soda. Okay, I love tea. All right, like I am from the South. I'll drink sweet tea, and in fact, I have no problem drinking the zero sweet tea. Well, actually, most of it's disgusting, but Gold Peak, 0 calorie sweet tea, it just uses an artificial sweetener, and it's actually pretty good. I like it. I drink soda because I have a major caffeine issue, and I don't drink coffee. As soon as you say that you have like a caffeine problem, everybody thinks you drink coffee, and it's like, well, no, I don't, and that's why I drink pop constantly, because that's where caffeine. Case says, how's the video project going? Well, it hasn't started. As you've seen, I'm behind on posting the videos already supposed to have out. I have been working. Oh my god, hold on. Okay, just fair warning, that's gonna keep happening. Okay, so, I haven't started filming it yet. I have made some progress as far as more stuff has happened, and that's more stuff that at the sort of tail end of that whole story. I can tell you how these things are wrapping up. As far as the complaints that I filed about the judges, there's been updates on both of them. One of them looks very promising. I think the one judge is in a lot of trouble. And so I can't talk about those right now because you make an agreement when you file them that once you file it, it's confidential. Now, of course, after it wraps up, then I can talk about it, but I can't right now. But as far as making the videos, I am nowhere close. Not even like months off. Like maybe around Christmas time we could think about maybe starting to film the first segment. But as I'm telling you here, I've got all this stuff to do for the guys. I'm sleeping on the floor. I've got to clean this room. I've got to get a shower fixed now. Like, all of this stuff has to be sorted out before I can even think about something like that. It is coming, but there are also videos I have to make in a couple that were supposed to come out in July. There's the 2 videos I did shoot in July. I have to make a third update about that, and that's going to come out. I'm also working like my furniture assembly job. There is a lot going on. I'm making forward progress, and if I remember, I'll tell you guys some of the progress I've made just in getting my life together this month. But that stuff has to take precedent because it's been put off for so long. But the videos absolutely are coming. Like, there's no way I'm not going to make those. Erwin says, Oof, could be mold, need mold inspection ASAP. It very well could be mold. If it is, there's probably nothing I can do about it. The landlord here has not been very responsive. See, we don't own a house, we rent it, so ultimately that kind of stuff's up to the landlord. I mean, one thing I would really like to get done, and I'm going to try to get done, is when I take these vents off, there's a small vent and there's like a giant vent. And when the giant vent cover comes off so I can clean it, I'm gonna take some video inside the air duct and send to my boss to try to convince him to do like the whole ductwork cleaning thing. I think that would help a lot. And if I can find where the HVAC is even located, then I can check filters and that kind of stuff. Oh, yes, but yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's mold, I want to get that taken care of as well. We do definitely have some mold in the basement, and that's on my list. We had a flood down there last year. Yeah, so there's some issues. AJ says it must feel so much better to be living in a place now versus your car. Yeah, I mean, yes, like that's not wrong, but the biggest part of it, like the thing that gives me the most relief, is just having a place to sort of unfold, to kind of having space to take my things out and organize them into piles that make sense. And once that's done, then here and there where I've had moments of time, I've made some progress in my life. So I'm getting a lot of comments, so I'm gonna go to those, but if somebody will remind me, I did actually make a lot of progress on little projects and things in my life this month, which I can talk about. There's just a huge risk that I will forget about. Hey, John. LA says, with all the trouble you have had with the car, would it be financially worth just cutting your losses and getting rid of it altogether? Would that save you on car insurance and property taxes? Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about what to do with the car, and obviously it's at a point now where it needs a lot of repairs. The car itself is not worth much, but you know, it does still provide like a really valuable service. So like, for example, through a lot of this, I've been struggling really hard. Like I said, I was walking bicycle routes on DoorDash to make $50 a day. But then $15 doesn't go very far when you order groceries. And if you're already walking to campus and then miles a day to do DoorDash routes, then do you want to walk several miles to go to Kroger and then back to your house and do that every day? So a lot of times what I would do, I could spend more money working to get more money, or more time working so I can make more money. I would order either Uber Eats or Instacart. One is usually cheaper than the other and it fluctuates. But I would get my groceries delivered that way. But it's expensive. Like, one time I ordered $40 worth of groceries off of Instacart. And they left their receipt in the bag. It was $17 that Instacart actually paid, without their markups and the delivery fees and like all of the different things, fees that they add there. That was the difference. It was like $40 and $6. It like more than doubled. So it's like, yeah, I would go out and I'd make $15 a day, but I might get $5 worth of groceries for that. And so basically what I'm saying is, if the car can make it one point to Kroger and back, that huge service that it still provides to me to be able to do that, especially with winter coming, that I can just, you know, for that purpose, or to go to the post office or something like that, rather than either paying Uber or having to walk through the snow or something like that. Now, with that being the case, like I did say, if I have to leave town, I have to get a rental car. There's no way around that. So, I did sign up for Zip, and I did rent a Zip car yesterday just to do some errands. So that's an option. They kind of raised the price on that. I'm not happy about that. They gave me one price when I signed up, and then when I went to actually rent a car, it was like way higher. Like if I wanted to rent the car for the entire day, it was supposed to be $80, and then by the time I actually did it, it was $123. But I don't really have a choice because it's the only service here. Now, I have thought about it. I think I'm not like dead set on this, but I think the best option is going to be for me to use the car in that manner. And then as the months go by, continue to get my financial life together. And at the end of that, either buy like a cheap-ish car, like $5,000 or something like that, that would last for maybe a year while I continue to do this. Or, I mean, if I can fix my credit, because my credit's really bad right now because of everything that's happened in the last 3 years. But fix my credit enough, if I had to, I mean, I could handle a car payment now. I'm actually really confused. Why are used cars more than new cars? It makes no sense at all. People are selling like 5 or 10-year-old cars for like $40,000. And I was looking at car prices yesterday because I saw the Chevy Trax. It's like a small SUV. I saw that and I looked it up and it's like, oh, $23,000 brand new. Why is that half the price of a used car? So I don't know. I mean, I may outright just save up $20,000, buy a brand new car if it's cheaper than a used car. It doesn't make any sense, but that seems to be how they are. And then, of course, I wouldn't have a car payment. So you are right for insurance. I'm still paying car insurance. I don't pay property tax on my car because my car is registered in Ohio. And Ohio doesn't have personal property taxes. I mean, you have property taxes on like real estate. So like for land or like a house. But it's not like West Virginia. West Virginia taxes everything, and it's every year. Every year, car, dog, bicycle, there's a tax for everything, and it has to be paid every year. It's ridiculous. It's the poorest state in the country, and it has the highest taxes. But yeah, so don't have to worry about property taxes. I am wondering why my car insurance is so much. It's one of the things that's gotten away from me because I've been so busy with everything else. But over like the last year or so, my car insurance has almost tripled. Actually, no, it's more than tripled for no reason. So I still have full coverage on my car. And for that, I was paying around $45 a month. I'm still in the same plan with the same company, and every 6 months it used to go down. Well, now every 6 months it goes up, and I don't know why, but it's gone up an extreme amount. So that's something that when I get a chance, probably later this fall, I'm going to look at and figure out what is going on, why it's going up, or I mean, if nothing else, just get quotes for another company because it's just ridiculous because the car is worth a lot less now. So to have full coverage on a car that's worth so much less, why does it cost 3 times as much? That's something that I just need the time to look into and figure out. But that is a way that I could save money. As of right now, though, I'm going to leave the car insured just because as long as this whole experiment with the oil works out, I am going to be driving it around town. I don't think I'm going to do DoorDash with it. I don't think I'm going to trust it to do that. But I'll trust it to go to the grocery store. And you know what? If it starts to overheat, I'm just going to keep it on the residential streets. Honestly, even if it continues overheating, if it just gets hot like that, I'll pull it over, wait 15 minutes at the whatever parking lot I pull off at, then drive the rest of the way to the grocery store before it overheats, and then let it cool down while I'm shopping, and just make a pit stop on the way back. I know that's a pain in the ass, but it's a lot better than walking or paying some obscene Instacart. So if I have to limp it back and forth to the grocery store for a year, I'll do that. Of course, there's also the option of just eventually getting it out and figure out what's wrong with it. Case says, have you seen the viral video, I was a neurosurgeon and now I'm homeless? It got millions of views in one day. Maybe you can try to make some of these to boost your viewership. I haven't seen that video. I feel like it would be difficult for me to make that a video because, like, while I was in that place for a while where I was making really good money, where I would have made over $230,000 that year if I'd had that job for the entire year, I don't think that anybody would really recognize what it was that I did, whereas, like, people know what a neurosurgeon is. And another thing that, like, why I think it wouldn't have that same kind of effect, I guess, is because a lot of my downfall is the girl, and people aren't going to like that. They're not going to like hearing about it or me talking about it. And there would have to be a lot of explaining and justification for me to explain, like, oh, well, the reason I was homeless is because of this, and then, you know, that led to the car and all these other issues. I think that would be really difficult to explain when you have a group of people who are not already, like, not really wanting to hear that. I don't think they're going to listen long enough for it to be explained to them, is basically what I'm saying. I'm not opposed to making a type of video. I mean, I think I told you guys one time jokingly that there's those CNBC videos of, like, how I live on, like, X amount of money in this city. And I was going to say, you know, I jokingly said I was going to make one. I was like, how I live on $1,000 a month in Charlotte, North Carolina, or something like that. But I'm not saying I would never make something like that. It would just a lot of time and thought, and I would have to really come up with what I think would be, like, a really, like, catchy title. And I think that's a lot of, with that title, the I was a neurosurgeon, now I'm homeless. I mean, that's something that people would be interested in. If I said I was a CCDS decontamination technician at a scientific research institute, where I made over $200,000 a year, and then a girl came in and destroyed my life, I'm not really sure if people would watch that video. LA retracted a message. We who are about to die salute you. I am late. Some kind of game day was at Morgantown, West Virginia yesterday for college football. And I know you're not remotely interested in college football. I'm really not, even though I live practically next door to the stadium. That was a huge issue yesterday with getting out of here. Indiana University played Florida International yesterday, and I got invited to a tailgate, which I did not go to because I have no time for such things. And I swear I'm not being purposefully antisocial. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of stuff I have to do with my personal life and also with the work that I'm doing here. Everybody else is taking the weekend off, all the other house directors, and they were having this tailgate, and they're like, yeah, come out. And I was like, I gotta work. Like, I mean, yeah, it took those 3 hours to go run-ins, but yeah, it was super busy by my house. Plus, we had a rush event last night. So, like, there was the game during the day, there's a rush event in the evening. It's been really busy here. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that College Game Day was at Morgantown. They've been there before. Actually, if you look at the I think it was when they were there in 2014. If you look at the background behind the presenters, you'll see my fraternity flag flying. There were guys in the crowd. Case says, sometimes people put low price to entice you to contact them. Then they will let you know that's down payment or something. Oh, I see what you're saying about the cars. Well, what I'm saying is not like when somebody puts like $1 or $100 or something. I'm talking about like, for example, I was talking about the tracks, and so I was just like, "Hey Siri," and don't do it. Okay, she's not listening. I didn't think about that before I said that. I'm filming on an iPhone right now, but I was walking down the street. I saw this brand new Chevy Trax, and I was like, "Huh, that's kind of nice." And then I was like, "Huh, I wonder how much those cost." And so I just asked Siri. I was like, "How much does the Chevy Trax cost?" And it was like the 2024 Chevy Trax. It was like 23,000 or something like that. And I'm like, that is like a really reasonable price. And but what I'm talking about is how the price that a brand new car, like on the lot, like a current year model, is selling for versus the prices that used cars are selling for. So I'm not talking about like when somebody just puts a placeholder price there, but like what people are asking for used cars. Because the prices really are ridiculous. And I mean, they were for new cars too, but it seems like maybe they've gone down now in price to the point where it seems like it's much cheaper to buy a brand new current model year car, even absorbing all the what is that called, depreciation, than it would be to buy like a 5 or 10-year-old car. And I mean, for my purposes, you guys know I buy a car and I drive it like for years until it dies. So if I bought a brand new car and put 250,000 miles on it, that would last me for a while. Especially in my situation now where I don't actually drive all that much. So, I'll look into it, but I've also checked the prices on new Subarus, and they're about the same. I even was looking at like a Crosstrek or something like that, and it's like, why is a 10-year-old Crosstrek more than a brand new Cross? That doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. Maybe it's people being greedy. And I know the car lot's got in trouble for that because they were jacking up the prices so much. So maybe they've been reined in, but like individual people selling their car haven't been. Because I know there for a while, it was like they were asking, say like, for example, like a Ford F-150 was over $100,000, a brand new one. And I mean, I don't want a truck, but I know a lot of people back home like trucks, and nobody could afford to buy one. We who are about to die salute you. Were you actually in town? And if so, I'm sorry. It's one place I hope I never have to go again in my life. Case says, sometimes people... Oh, okay, that's the one I just read. It's okay to be regular, says looking good. Thank you, thank you. I've lost 5 pounds. I'm gonna keep working on that. Maybe I can lose another 5 by next month. We who are about to die salute you says, I saw that. It was so enlightening. The fact that he found that the AMA was just for profit and not really being for the people. American Medical Association? Lifestyle changes over a Band-Aid. Wait, lifestyle changes over putting a Band-Aid over issues. Okay, I know the comments, but I'm not sure what you were referring to there. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, the medical profession generally just out to make money and doesn't really care about you individually. Case says, yeah, Mark also found out how... Oh, yeah, Mark also found out how the society treats men versus women, etc. So maybe that will get views too. some viral title for the video, like, I devoted my life to that girl and I'm now homeless. I mean, I would hope that you're right, but from my experience, all that would get me is hate and probably my channel reported and removed. And because, you know, you already know it because you just said it there, but when I've gone for help with what happened, mostly I get ridicule. I get refusal to help from the agencies that are supposed to help. And I'm treated like I'm the problem and that I'm the one in the wrong. So maybe that skewed my view, but that's what I feel like would happen if I made a video about that. That's why I'm just making this series of videos, just putting everything out there, just like, this is what happened. And I mean, yeah, you're really dedicated to watching the whole series to like get to that point and seeing that, rather than making a standalone video that would maybe draw in a bigger audience. But I feel like anything that I put out like that would just be a magnet for hate. And I've got so much going against me in life right now. I don't want to bring any more on me. Oh, but yeah, well, okay. We're about to die, salute you, says the viral titles. I'm gonna try to word stuff, not more clickbaity, exactly. You guys know what I mean. When I make videos, but some of those I'm gonna make like a can't, right? Like, it wouldn't really make sense to do that for the live stream. I just put like the month live stream. It wouldn't make sense when I'm doing my updates on like student loans or something like that. But yeah, when I'm making more of like content videos, when I finally get my schedule cleared enough that I can do that, I think that I can, I mean, I always, you know, it's not like I just put a title on there and don't care about it. It's just sometimes I can come up with a good title. Sometimes it's just meh. But I will, like, I could try to make it more catchy, I guess, depending on what it is. There's one that I can think of that I already have the thumbnail made for. It's one of those videos I've been supposed to make for years, that will eventually get made, but it's got kind of a title that I think a lot of people will click on. But also, guys, I mean, now that I'm settled in here, these are, my boss called them growing pains, but basically it's getting set up here. Once I get the guys their beds, their keys, their dongles, which are like the scanny things for, we get the fire inspection done, and then we're good for the entire year. After that, it's pretty smooth sailing, which means that I can work a lot less, and I can spend time making videos and also getting my life together in other ways. So I just got to get through the next, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I should have more time. And I do have an income coming now, so I'm not saying that like I can just do nothing, but like, it's not where I have to put a moment of every day into making money and then still don't have enough money. I can pay my basic expenses now, and having that covered means that sometimes I can take time to go do other things. Case says, yeah, I just looked at Chevrolet website. Chevy Trax 2025 is starting at $25,000. Not sure why. Yeah, and that's like the price of like a 10-year-old Chevy SUV. Like if you go to Facebook Marketplace or Carvana, where I bought my car. I don't know why, but guys, if you're looking for a car, just go buy a brand new one. I'm serious. I mean, check the prices, of course, but like, for some reason, new cars are cheaper than old cars now. So, and because it's not just Chevy, like I said, there's like that too. Case says, maybe the economy is so bad they have to lower it. However, when it is a used car, the person who bought it probably spent more money, so he expects more. while not knowing the price has dropped. Yeah, that's true. Like if they bought it when the used car prices, well, I mean, they're still high, but if they bought it after that post-COVID thing where skyrocketing prices for used cars happened, and then they either don't know about it or they don't want to realize that loss in terms of finally realizing it. They, then are trying to reap their money by selling it for a higher rate. But yeah, that by the time I'm ready to buy a car, this whole like car price situation might change. But I wonder if you're right. I wonder if car companies have realized nobody's buying cars at $100,000 because nobody can afford that, and so now they're actually, like, maybe they're even losing money on the car. They're getting people to buy them again. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, if one can get a car for under $29,000, that would be to the pain. That would be to the pain someone would have making 25 cents per hour in 1938 for $860. Okay, I'm lost with that. If one can get a car for under $29,000, that would be to the pain someone would have been making. I don't know what that means, man. Case says he's referring to the neurosurgeon becoming unemployed because he found out AMA cares more about money than patients. Oh, okay, you were talking about that video. So yeah, okay, that's why I was lost, because I haven't seen it. So it was the neurosurgeon to homeless thing. Yeah, since I haven't seen that, now I do know, because I mean, I know a lot of people who've gone to medical school. Doctors don't make shit for money. I mean, I probably make more than doctors actually make. When you think about how many hours they work per week for the money they get, and how high, especially like their malpractice insurance rates are and things like that. Like when you look at it from this of like, what are you actually profiting from that job? I definitely make more than them. So, that's not a route that I ever would have chosen to go. Not only do I have blood injury injection phobia, and not only do I not really have any interest in anything medical, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like being a lawyer. That's a really shitty job that doesn't pay anything. People have kind of like built up in their minds certain professions without understanding how they're paid or what expenses are incurred in the field. One of the lawyers that I had, because you guys know I had multiple one times for like the stuff going on with the girl, he's broke as fuck. He lives at home. He's been out of law school for years. Yeah, he still lives with his parents. Like, he hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans, and yeah, he practices and yeah, makes money, but like, he also has a lot of expenses. So because you've got different insurance for that. You've got your advertising costs, which are huge at that level. You're putting up like billboards on the interstate and that kind of thing, just to get leads coming in. Plus he has employees. So he's not really profiting money at all. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, so in allopathy, I don't know what that is. They take things out and put artificial things in, not recommending you to make natural lifestyle changes to help your issues get better. To clarify. Okay, so I don't know what that thing is that you mentioned, the whatever pathy. But this sounds similar. Okay, so you guys know I'm a clinical psych major. That's what my degree is. I took a class called health psychology that was taught by the head of psychiatry at the local hospital, and we talked about a bunch of different subjects, but one was the difference of the biomedical model and the biopsychosocial model. Now, my mom, she was always strict biomedical. She wanted to just take a pill to fix everything. And that's the way the doctors used to be. More so today, they're biopsychosocial, meaning that, you know, that's part of it, but they also want you to make life decisions. There's like the aspect of mental health, and all these other things that factor into it being like one system, your body and your health being one system that has all these various things that impacts it. So, you know, like in biomedical model, if you were obese, which by the way, my BMI says I'm obese, you know, so if you're obese, biomedical model would say just take a weight loss pill, right? Whereas biopsychosocial might have you go exercise, or they might have you go to a therapist to see, you know, why you're eating. Or they might look at your lifestyle and see you live in your car and don't have a kitchen, so you've gained so much weight because you have to eat every meal. And that's kind of the difference there. I don't, that's as close as I know to like what you're talking about. Kate says there are a lot of red pill, black pill channels out there doing well. It is the trend right now. I vaguely know what red pill is. I don't know what black pill is. I don't label that stuff. I have to label myself as like subscribing to particular like method of thought, because I don't know. I feel like I don't need like a group to validate what I think about things, and I think that there's not like they're definitely not right. Like, let's just say pill, for example. They might have some really valid points about certain issues, but they're also probably very wrong about other points. And if you just adhere yourself to like this one thing, this like red pill concept, then you're not thinking for yourself. And that's the thing is and it's kind of like politics. I've told you guys, I don't really talk about politics on here because everyone disagrees with me. Because I look at the issue and whether I agree with it or not. I don't look at, well, does this political party believe this, and I'm part of this political party, so I am going to believe that. I just look at like, okay, well, do I believe that or not? And I think for myself. But yeah, like I said, don't talk about politics because it's not just there's one side and then another side, and the one side's gonna like me and the other side's not. I don't fit in that. Like, both sides are gonna hate me because both sides are gonna disagree with what I have to say. We Who Are About to Die salute you says, Mark, have you looked into funds? QDTE and XDTE. I have not. I will look back, if I remember, back and get those codes and look. I have very, very small amounts invested. Because you guys remember I cashed out most of my retirement and my investments in 2022 and 2023 trying to pay my roommate. The ones that I still have left are things like, like SoFi, for example. They had a thing going for a while where if you logged in 7 days in a row, you would get like 5-10 cents to invest in fractional shares. And I did that for a while. So I've ended up, that's up to like $30 now. So I've got that invested in various things, and a couple of them are funds. I have some, which by the way, this is not investing advice. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I've got several Vanguard funds. There's a couple others as well that are not Vanguard, but I think it's I don't know. You'd have to verify if this is right. VXQ, something with a V and a Q in it. It's a REIT. That's one that I have a good proportion of that $30 in. But the thing is with me and dividends is I'd have to have such a massive amount invested in order to get enough dividends to have any consequence of me being able to like pay a monthly bill or something. And every account I have, whether it's investing or retirement, I just have it set up to automatically reinvest the dividends and the interest. I can tell you guys, I made 5 cents combined in interest and dividends this month. I just saw it posted today on my my retirement account. I have 1 cent in interest and 4 cents in dividends. That's where I'm at with that. And at that point, it really doesn't make sense for me not to just reinvest that. But I mean, maybe years down the road when I'm rich, yeah, I can do that. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, do you find it odd how cars with more than 2 seats cost more than cars with 2 seats? Meanwhile, houses with more rooms cost more than houses with less. What? Wait, what? Okay, let me think about this. Do you find it odd how cars with more than 2 seats cost more than cars with 2 seats? No? You're getting more. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear the screaming. There's guys screaming outside. You guys can already tell it's a lot quieter in this house though than Morgantown. Well, I would think the more seats it has, probably less expensive it would be. So no, I think that's normal. And then you said, meanwhile, houses with more rooms cost more than houses with less. Well, yeah, I would think so, right? Because assuming that the houses get bigger, the more rooms that the house has, then yeah, like the bigger the house, the more expensive it would be. I don't know. We Are About to Die Salute You says the proportion $860 is to $29,000. The proportion $860 is to $29,000 as 25 cents per hour is to $7.25 per hour. Okay, so I guess you're saying minimum wage now is $7.25 an hour, and at the time that you said, I forget what year that was, the minimum wage was 25 cents an hour. So if that proportion holds constant, then $860 is $29,000 today. So I'm not seeing how those are related though. I don't know if you're saying 860 would be the annual income and maybe 29,000 is the annual income at 725. But I don't think that's right, because I know I worked full-time at $17 an hour. My annual was $35,360. So that's, I can't do the math in my head, but I still don't really get what you're saying there. Case Left Shark says, there are doctors who work in hospital part-time for just $75,000 a year. Really depends on what you want to sacrifice your time for. Yeah, I know they have some specialists, like people who are really good at certain things, or like a surgeon. Um, Surgeons get a lot of time off. Like, what's his name? Doctor Strange before his car wreck, like that. It's okay to be regular says, why did you delete some of your videos? Depends on what videos you're talking about. I don't believe I've actually deleted any of the videos, but I might have made them private, just depending on what you're talking about. Oh, we were about to die salute. He says, allopathy is the study of Western medicine. Okay, I didn't know that. It says, lawyers only get paid well if they know how to sell and how to do business. If a lawyer fresh out of school doesn't have any client, mostly he will go public defender. Yeah, that's not what this dude did. He created his own firm, and I mean, he's gotten some cases and some like big cases, like murder trials. But I don't think he's very good with the business aspect. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like he became a lawyer as a hobby. Like he's got other stuff going on too. We were about to die salute you says, I find it crazy how so many conservative people like PewDiePie and some other people are huge YouTube stars and they receive their publicity from politics. I didn't know that. I actually don't know that much about PewDiePie. Most of the famous YouTubers I can't stand. Like, I could never watch their videos because I just don't find them interesting or I find them annoying. Like the fake personality put on. So like, I'm real. Like I tell you guys when my life is fucked up, that's part of my channel. Like I'm documenting like my life and how things are sometimes. And I put that out here. I gotta knock at my door real quick. Honestly, I'm not sure, but it's okay. Give me a second here. I'll get the key. Okay, it was just a door unlocked. I'm technically on call 24/7, and I mean, obviously when I'm here, people have probably knocked and nothing has happened when I didn't answer, so I guess I don't have to respond every time, but it was something easy. Oh yeah, PewDiePie. So I don't really know anything about him. I think he's Swedish. That's about the extent to it. I didn't even know he was conservative. Although, are we talking conservative by American standards or conservative by European standards? Because those are totally different things. But I didn't know he was involved in politics either. We who are about to die salute you says, if you ever get into those funds, make an offshoot channel on stocks, make money doing that. I could, but I would definitely do it personally. I would do it myself, and I would, how would I say this? I would know 100% what I'm talking about before I would make a channel talking about that. So, yeah. Yeah, you're right, VNQ. Now, I just can't remember the letters or the sign for the other ones, but I do have some other ones as well. It's just that's the one that I have the most money in. For XDTE and QDTE, you need just $45. You would need like 10,000 to make at least $68 a week for either of those two funds. I mean, that makes sense, but when you think about everything I have going on in my life, that's something that's pretty far off, right? Like, I need to get my past due bills paid. I need to get my car situation figured out. And I got to do that stuff before I can consider putting away that much money. But yeah, years in the future, more financially stable me could do something like that. Oh, well, we were about to salute you. Says like a 2-seater Corvette than a multi-seat van. Oh, I made a mistake. Cars with more seats cost less than cars with 2 seats. Yeah, okay, so, well, that makes sense because generally, cars that are 2 seats are like sports cars. Now, of course, it doesn't really work that way with trucks because traditionally trucks just have the front seats, but some of them have an extended cab or that second set of doors. So that is a separate issue, but yeah, generally with cars, a 2-seat is a sports car, so they're going to cost more. Now, I wouldn't have a sports car. That's just a waste of money to me. But I'm also cheap, and I'm, I would rather have just because I literally, when I bought this car, this is the cheapest model Subaru makes, and it is the base. Well, it's actually base premium, which is really weird. It has, the only features it has are the premium wheels, which are an inch bigger, and it has heated seats. Don't work anymore. But they had those 2 options and nothing else. It's like the cheapest car Subaru makes. And that, I understand that when we're talking about like the Chevy Trax at 25,000 or whatever it was, I understand that that's not going to have any options, but I don't care. That's what people don't get. If I can get a brand new car, I'm getting that car because it's in good shape, it's comfortable, and it's reliable, and it's going to last a long time. It's got a lot of life in it. I do not give a shit if it has air conditioning or crank windows. I don't care. I don't want any of those things. I want a dependable vehicle to do what a vehicle is supposed to do, and that is drive me places. And I'm always really astounded at like people don't understand that. So I would definitely get a $5,000 car that had like manual windows and manual locks if it lasted me for 10 years and took me 200,000 miles. Okay, so $860 was the price of a car in 1938. You would make 25 cents an hour at that time. Today, $7.5 is what you can make, but a car is $29,000. Buying it less is kind of the threshold. Okay, let me try to math in my head here. Okay, cars $860. That means, let's see, 4 work is $1, so $2 a work day. 5 times, oh, I think they worked more than 5 days a week, but let's say 5 days a week. So you're making $2 a day, 5 days a week, $10 a week, 52 weeks a year. That's $120. Wait, hold on. $10 a week, 52 weeks a year. That's $520. Your car is $860. So let's say your car is roughly 2 years salary. Little less, but roughly. And then 725 times, trying to math in my head again. What is that? So I'll say 75, 150. That's roughly 300 a week, right? So 300 times 52. So 15. Oh, let's just say 16,000 a year. You guys make me do math live. So 16,000 a year, but the car is 29,000. So 16 times 2 is 32. So actually, yeah, it seems like they're about the same price, right? Because it's just a little bit less than 2 years salary. Or my math could be completely wrong. You guys can check me on that. Because what phone do you have, Mark? I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, the 1 terabyte version. I got it in 2021, launched. I had an iPhone 4, and then I went to the iPhone 7 when it came out. And then I had that iPhone 7 up until the 13 came out. I do my phones just like I do my cars. I buy them, they last for years, up until the point I start having problems with them, and then I'll replace them. So, you know, I kind of get a lot more work out of it than I think most people do, because I keep them for longer. I don't need to have the newest, nicest thing. But I also invest in myself when I have the money to do so. And in 2021, I was still making good money, but I knew very soon I wouldn't be. So I went ahead and bought the phone when I had the money. Because otherwise, I'd still be using an iPhone 7. And I'm pretty sure at this point, a lot of apps and stuff don't even work on it. And I did get the 1 terabyte because on my iPhone 7, I was constantly running out of storage. I had the 256 gig, which was like their memory for it. But even with that, I was constantly running out. And especially with filming like 4K ultra high definition videos, which those two I have filmed for you guys are in 4K, by the way. But yeah, there's like these absolutely massive storage files for the videos that I create. Case says, well, a 2-seated Corvette is aimed toward men who are richer and thinking about saving the other seat for his trophy wife. While 4-seaters are probably for family, so the men would probably have money to spend on cars. Okay. Yeah. Well, and I think... Yeah, a Corvette is more of like a splurge spend. Like, you don't need that. And yeah, I agree that if you have a family to support, you probably have less money. Although, I mean, the argument could be made if you have a family, you probably have 2 incomes. So maybe you have more money to go around, but then you've got kids who take money. But then you also need something with more seats to transport the kids. We Who Are About to Die salute you. I am still looking for someone to do a channel like that with funds. $7.25 per week and see how long it will take to pay off a bill. Why don't you do it? You have the idea and you're on YouTube, so why don't you just make a channel and do it? Case says, amount of seats is not the only defining factor. Go to a Michelin star Gordon Ramsay restaurant and get a $200 Eggs Benedict and not getting fed well from it, while you can spend $200. In some Chinese restaurants, you'll be fed for sure, even though it might not taste as well. Never do that. I would never do that. Like, I would never waste money like that. I get your point that you're saying, but I'm just saying that I put no value in any of those like restaurant ratings or anything, and I would, if something is that expensive, I would not do that. I can't even imagine for like a date I mean, I suppose if I got married, we had wedding catering, that's usually ungodly expensive. That I would probably pay for. Um, but just like randomly going to a very restaurant. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was that one girl that wanted me to take her out when I lived in Charlotte, and I suggested Chipotle just because it's my favorite restaurant. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's go. Um, then she was like, I'm not familiar with that establishment. And then she was like, most of the places that I go have a dress code. I'm like, what? And so then she started talking about like some suggestions, and her suggestion was Chris. I don't like the name of that place, but anyway. So I looked it up, and it's like a moderately fancy steakhouse. I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying for that for you, but because I'm not going to pay for that for myself. It's just a waste of money. All right. We Were About to Die salute you says $7.25 a week into the $45 fund to clarify. Okay. So you're contributing $7.25 toward hitting that threshold of the $45 so that you can buy into the. I think that's what you're saying. AJ says that I do with my phones too. Yeah. So I have the 13. I literally am about to pay this off next month because I've been doing the like the payment plan. It adds a $44 a month on my phone bill. So that's going to be off. Well, no, I'm paying the phone bill tomorrow, and then I think it's the next month. So like the first week of October, I think is when it would be paid off. But then I'll probably keep this phone for at least another 2 years. I'm not having any issues with it, and other than needing to replace the screen protector and being really gross and needing cleaned, there's nothing wrong with it, so I'm just gonna keep it. We Were About to Die salute you, or day. I don't know, ordains. We Were About to Die salute you says, very true case. France has the smallest portion sizes and everything is expensive. Go to Germany and eat like a king for cheaper. Hey, if any of you guys want to bring me donor or curst, because I can't find it anywhere here. I'm in Indiana, but I'm in a college town. There are so many like diverse restaurants. They don't have German food here. I can't find it anywhere. I'm hoping that on one of my work trips to Indianapolis, like when I rent a car and go up there, that I can get some. If anybody has suggestions, let me know. I already checked Shapiro's. I guess I don't really know my way around Indianapolis, but I know Shapiro's. I've been there a few times. And it's a Jewish deli downtown. I was just like, maybe they have it. And they don't. So, I don't know. Anybody from Indiana, let me know where I can find German food here. And I'm not talking about traditional German food. I'm talking like modern German street food. We Were About to Die salute says, yeah, most women now want high end. I am not even sure what the standard is anymore. You guys saw what I did for the girl, right? I gave her a lot of nice things, or, well, at least tried to, if she didn't screw it up. But when I like really care about somebody, yes, I will spend money on them like I wouldn't spend money on myself. But when I'm going on a first date with somebody that I don't know at all, I have no idea if I can even stand this person, I'm not gonna take you out to something like that. Like, we can go walk around Walmart, maybe get MTO from Sheetz. I mean, that's what you're getting. And like, if you can go through that and you actually like me for me, then yeah, later on we can do a nice dinner or something. But I just think girls go about this like completely backward. It's not my place to pay for your shit. Go get a job. Um, so, Case says, you know that story about gold diggers red pill theme? You can make that into a properly made video for some viewership. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to that story, other than like what I told. There's not really maybe enough to flesh out like a whole story about that. That wasn't the only gold digger that I ran into in Charlotte, and so far, thankfully, that seems to be a Charlotte-specific problem that I was running into. But yeah, I mean that was a weird experience, and they do get kindly when you don't acquiesce. I mean, yeah, they're pretty entitled to that. You know, when you present it to them as like, no, I'd like you can earn that. Like you can get to, and we start dating, and then maybe once you show that that's something that you deserve to have, like yeah, sure. Yeah, that doesn't go over well. Case says, have you seen that video of a black woman trying to scam a guy for 64 servings of oysters or whatever, and the man went to the bathroom and left her with the bill? These are the kind of viral videos right now. I have not seen that. I might look that up. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'd have the balls to do that, but it might be a thought I'd have. Now, I obviously would not see that girl again, and probably wouldn't be, I don't know, super cordial for the rest of the date, but I would probably just suck it up and pay for it and just not see her again. But, oh, did I tell you guys I went on a date? I don't think I did. Okay, hold up. Let me blow my nose again. I'm gonna get a refill, and I'll give you guys a short story time. It's nothing crazy. It was just a weird date that didn't go well. I'm back. Okay, now if I can just stop sneezing, I'll be good. Okay, so yeah, let me tell you real quick here, and I'll get back to the rest of the content. But I'll tell you guys I went on a date. So you know how if you're on the apps, Hinge, you can change your location without actually being there. You can just go into preferences and like set a point on a map. So before I actually moved to Indiana, I set my location over here in Bloomington so that I could maybe, start meeting somebody. And got kind of match, like one match, and uh, wasn't really into it. And then matched with this other girl, and actually ended up talking to her for, I don't know, like a couple weeks. And normally I wouldn't talk that long before meeting, but I wasn't out here yet. So she started to get a little bit impatient, and because of that, not the first night I was in town, but the second day I was in town. First day I had access to the house. She was kind of getting to the point of being kind of pushy and like really wanting to see me. So, okay. The way that I do this is like if I'm at least like moderately attracted to the person, I'll talk to them and I'll go meet them, and um, we'll see what it is. We'll see how we get along, and maybe it becomes something, maybe it doesn't, or maybe, you know, we do like the friends thing, and it's just like, this is somebody I know in town. That's how I handle first dates, basically, is I just go and see how it feels and get to know them, and then figure out after that where it's going to go. So I've been talking to this girl for like 2 or 3 weeks. We go, and she lives here in town, and we'd had a good conversation up to that point. So I get into town. I do like an emergency load of laundry because I haven't done laundry forever. So I get some clean clothes. I meet her. We meet pretty late because well, you know, I had stuff to do all day. So we meet at like 9 o'clock by the campus library. And even though she had a car, she insisted on coming on bicycle. And that was where things started getting a little bit strange. It's just like, I wanted her to come and like be a part of, like I come and be a part of, like the first night that I was on campus, 'cause she was going to show me around. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know where the hell I am. And anyway, once it was time to meet, I was like, okay, like I'm ready to go. Are you ready? And she's like, hold up, and then was putting it off. Somehow she couldn't understand that I'm like, okay, like I'm ready now. Like it's getting later. Are you sure? Like, you sure you want to do this tonight? Because you kind of seem like you're going to flake. And she's like, no, no, no. Finally, she's like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I was like, awesome. So I drive the car down to the library, which is like a mile away. And then I'm like, okay, I'm here. And she's like, well, wait, you didn't tell me that you were leaving. And I didn't argue with her, but I'm just like, well, you said you're ready to go. So now, because she insists on coming on a bicycle, she is like frantically trying to pedal from like the other side of town. So she shows up like all sweaty, and I mean, we just end up walking around town, walking around campus. But the whole time, as she was like pointing stuff out to me, she was very insistent that I must do certain things, and I must try different restaurants. And I just kind of was like, I don't really think I'd be into that. I mean, whatever the particular thing was. And she was just like really pushy about it. She'd been really pushy about like getting together that night. And anyway, we ended up walking around for like an hour or two. We talked a lot. And then she left, and then she started texting, well, not texting me, but like through Hinge, through the app, telling me that there were like weird homeless guys talk to her on her ride home. And I was like, oh, like, well, did he actually bother you, or did he just try to talk to you? And I forget, she said something in response, but it was something, I don't know, like sort of blowing me off, or like, I guess I didn't say the right thing. And then I just didn't hear from her again after that. After a couple days passed and she didn't respond any further, I just unmatched her. So it wasn't, like I said, this wasn't like a crazy story or anything. It's just I went on a date. What happened with it? She was kind of weird. I didn't vibe with her to like even like be a friend or anything. So, yeah, and that's the only date I've been on since I've been here, and not currently talking to, but you know, see how that goes. Um, from what I've read online, it's actually really tough to date in Bloomington. So, very good possibility to import a girl from Indianapolis. So. We Were About to Die salute you says, doner kebabs are amazing from what my sister tells. Basically like a Turkish nachos gyro. There was a place in Columbus called What's for Doner, and I loved it. It went out of business, well, sort of. They changed their name, had different owners, but then they were only open for like a couple months. And I got it under the new ownership, and it just wasn't nearly as good. And that was the last time I ate there. And then they closed soon after that. So I've had that. I have never currywurst, but I've seen it on TikTok, and it looks so good. And I really want it, and I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it here in this college town. I'm going to try to find it. If I get a furniture assembly job and I rent a car and I go to Indianapolis for it, I am going to try to find some. There's got to be German people in Indiana. Anyway, We Were About to Die salute you says, if you think like a woman, think about how many guys they go through. They have met the guy who had taken them out for pizza for the first date. Then they get with a guy who tops and takes her to high end. Oh, there's a term for that. I know that. I know that one. You guys are talking about all this red pill stuff, and I don't mostly know what you're talking about, but I know this term. It's called alpha widowed. It's not usually in terms of dates. It's usually just like, usually a girl gets a guy that's way out of her league, like once. And then after that, she won't date like anyone because she thinks that she can get that. And so like no other guy measures up. But she doesn't realize that it was kind of just like a one-time misstep on his part rather than her actually being able to obtain somebody like that. See, like for me, it's much more important that a girl can be chill, down to earth, and that's how we're going to be most of the time, all day, every day. Also, I don't want a woman that... Well, I say I don't want a woman that expects me to pay for everything, although I did with my ex, but that was sort of a special circumstance that I don't think I'd find myself in again. But yeah, I'm almost at the point now. I haven't implemented this yet, and it's gonna go well. But I'm almost at the point where I'm gonna try to start insisting that women pay for their half of the first date. Like food, activity, whatever. Just because it's actually not right that I should have to pay for things. I mean, I have been pretty traditional when it comes to dating, but now that I'm in my late 30s trying to date and everyone is just shitty, yeah, I'm just like, this is a waste of time and money, and all I'm finding is people who want, well, things like that, right? Like they want money or they want things paid for. And so I'd like to weed those people out. Yep, so I told you the date story. Case says, why would you hold on to the dating story and not tell us? LOL, that should be the first thing you tell us. Well, honestly, I kind of forgot. I've had so much going on this month, and that happened, it's been a little over a month ago now, and it was right when I got into town. Like, literally the first thing I did when I got into town, because she was, at that point, being impatient, and since, well, you know, now I was finally in town, she wanted to see me, so, but yeah, basically I just forgot, and especially since it didn't turn into anything, I don't know, wasn't really something I was thinking about. We were about to die, salute you. Case, Mark has it down to... What? Has it down to lead people on. Perfect skill to have making viral videos or series. Yeah, that's really not on purpose. That's just, I think probably my memory works that way. Case says, yeah, then Mark be like, oh, by the way, did I tell you guys I got $1 million? I did not get $1 million. I did get some money. I don't have it. I mean, I'm still living like I'm broke, because I am broke. I don't know how much it's going to end up being, but it'll be a few $1,000s. When I will explain all that to you guys, because I don't have it yet, so I have no idea how much it's going to be. And it's not like it's going to make a huge impact. I mean, it would be, oh, maybe enough to get like one of those $5,000 used cars or something. But when I make that, so I told you guys I filmed those 2 videos in July, but I want to make a 3rd part to it, so it explains everything else. It's all out there. And in the 3rd part, I'm going to end up telling you guys about the money. So that, I know you were talking hypothetically, but that did actually happen. It might not actually be all money in the end, but right now any kind of windfall is like a major deal to me. Oh, Dragon Shore says, hi Mark, have you had mother bears or buffaloes yet? I'm not 100% certain, can't talk today. Not 100% certain what mother bears is. I think that's pizza, if I'm right on that. I have not had buffaloes, but I did go in there because I was doing DoorDash and I picked up an order from there. So I know where that one is. It looks like a sandwich shop, I think, if I'm thinking about the right place. And I vaguely have heard of Mother Bear, and I think it's pizza. I haven't. The only places I've eaten here in town, I went to Wendy's yesterday. Nothing special. I have gone to Tropical Smoothie Cafe. That first week I was in town, they were running a special where with any purchase you got a smoothie. So I was going like every day, and I was getting my $5 peanut butter, honey, granola, banana thing that I get, and then getting a free smoothie with it. Where else have I eaten? I ate at Cane's one time because I got a coupon for a free Caniac combo. I have kept Qdoba in business, the one on campus. Well, I don't know, maybe that's the only one, but because I have chef status, so I get $2 chips and queso. If you're broke, you can make $2, and then you can eat that for your meal that day. I got a free entree after a while of doing that too, and I ate there. I have gone to Jimmy John's several times, both the one downtown and the one on 10th, I think. And it's because there for a while they were sending me coupons. It'd be like free side or free bag of chips. Or like one time it was like $4.99 for a sandwich, which is super cheap for there. So I was going occasionally, but I haven't really eaten out much at all. Especially like trying to save money and having money. Yeah, man, I think that's it. Like, I really haven't eaten anywhere. He says she probably tried to get you into one of those restaurants to get a free meal from you. I think so. I mean, I think that's what she does. Because like she ended up adding me on Snap, and I would see her almost every day. She would be super dressed up, like wearing dresses. I normally don't date girls that wear dresses. I don't know. The girls that I end up dating for some reason, or I don't know, they're kind of tomboy kind of girls. But you know, those are just, they're the girls that like me. I don't know. But very rare for me to have a girl in a dress. But she would always wear these like really fancy dresses. And you could tell by like the bathroom selfies that she'd post on Snap that she was out at some fancy place. And it was like almost every day. So I think you're right. Like, I think she just had like a system where she doesn't buy food. She just has yeah. Supposedly she had a job. Supposedly she's a cat breeder, which I'm not convinced is a real job or a real thing. But yeah, supposedly she was like a dog breeder kind of thing, but she breeds cats and then sells the cats. We who are about to die salute you says, for men, we have a lot riding on our job. We need to make it to retirement. Well, I think everybody needs to make it to retirement, right? Like, if you don't, you die. Women have looks, we have money. I mean, where I'm coming from, okay, maybe it's the coming from, but in West Virginia, women are supposed to do more than men. That's what's expected. Because women are also supposed to be hardworking at physical jobs, and they're supposed to work full time. My mom was the breadwinner of our family because my dad couldn't keep a job, even though the one with all the education. And that's like pretty normal where I'm from. Like, it's women have more responsibilities than men where I'm from. Like, women work physical labor jobs. They are usually the breadwinners of the family. And of course, they're the ones that take care of the kids. So, I mean, not with my persuasion because I don't want kids, but I do generally expect that if I'm dating a girl, that she has her own money, that she works hard, whether that be a job or like her own business, something like that. But I'm experiencing other cultures where that's not the case as I move around the country. And I'm just like, I'm not paying for everything. You need to go get a job. So, yeah. We were about to salute you. Said same here. The peanut butter flatbread. I got all their smoothies when they were in that deal. And so when the one that they were doing like the last week of July, it was only for one particular kind of the like it was I don't know what it was called, but when I get the Blimey Limey. That's my favorite. We were about to salute you says Subway sometimes runs their foot-long BOGO deals online. I could probably do that now that I have a place to store food. In the past, I never do the BOGOs because I have to make the decision, do I eat 2 meals at the same time, which is probably a bad idea, or do I just throw the second one away because I didn't have a way to store it? We were about to die salute you says cat breeder, haha, cat lady. Well, yeah, except not in the ways that you would think of a cat. Like, she had a really fancy apartment, and I do think she had 1 or 2 cats that lived with her, but then I guess apparently she had like an office somewhere where she had the other cats. So it's not like she was like crazy cat lady, like she didn't look like that, and her apartment didn't look that. But I'm also still not convinced that's a real thing, because I was like Googling it, trying to find her business, and I couldn't find anything about it. Like, I couldn't even find like a place to buy a cat or a cat breeder in Charlotte. Case says her Snapchat is a Rolodex of men who can get her meals. It's basically her DoorDash, except she doesn't pay. Tonight, she can't get meals from Hinge, so she goes to her directory of past dates and asks for a date, aka free meal. Yeah, I mean, that's really pessimistic, but that's probably, I mean, I hope you could understand why I wouldn't want a woman like that. I mean, okay, so here's where I'm at, all right? Because have you guys ever seen the 1994 movie, The Beverly Hillbillies? Basically based off the first season of the Beverly Hillbillies TV show from like the 60s. And the storyline was basically the same. But there's a scene in there where Jed, well, it was actually Jethro, his nephew did it for him, but he posted a billboard of the picture of Jed and says, "Billionaire needs wife." That's basically where I'm at right now, okay? So I'm 39. I'm not fucking around. I'm not like trying to waste time. I'm not even interested in dating somebody if they're like playing the field or doing the weird dude DoorDash thing. I'm just like, hey, if I like you, and I mean, we got to get to that point. I got to find out if I like you. But if I like you, I'm like, I'm ready for a serious relationship. Like, I want to have, maybe not marriage, you know, that would definitely be long down the road, but like having that serious relationship that could probably lead there, I don't want to waste any time finding that. So, I don't know, I'm pretty much at that point. I feel like Jed and Jethro were just doing interviews at this point. We who are about to die salute you, says trophy wife. She wouldn't be a trophy for me. Maybe like a trophy you get at Goodwill. You know, someone else's trophy. But, yeah, she wouldn't be I mean, she's attractive. I mean, I'd say, you know, like a solid like 7.5. But you'd think to be a trophy wife, you'd have to be above that. But it's funny because I sent a screenshot of something she texted. I wasn't texting. I think it was we met on Bumble, and it was on the Bumble app. She sent me something just like, it was so weirdly worded. I was like, how the hell do I respond to this? So I sent her this thing that's like, it like analyzes text messages, and the person that responded is like, she sounds like she's AI. And I'm like, seriously, I really don't think she was AI, because I found later on like another dating site. But she did like very awkwardly word things, and also like she was just weird. So like she had the active thing going on, but she was just weird, and I'm just like, I don't know, I wouldn't consider somebody like a trophy wife who, you know, basically prostitutes herself food and also speaks in AI. That wouldn't be a trophy to me. We were about to die salute you, says Tropical Smoothie Cafe also had a deal where you could only get a sunshine smoothie with purchase. I think that's the one I did. In that case, I would get foods that were priced less than the smoothie. Same thing. Well, because the thing is, I like a lot of their food, but like the thing that I absolutely love from Tropical Smoothie is that peanut butter banana flatbread. And I get that almost every time I go. Sometimes they judge me hardcore because I get that with a side of jalapeno corn. And I think they're just thinking like, that does not go together. Yeah, so that's the one that I'm doing, where you got that one, which I don't like pineapple. It has pineapple in it, but it was still good. I mean, the other stuff sort of toned down the pineapple. Case says Ub's complaining to his rich sister about not having enough money because of his girlfriend. The sister says, that's because you have a girlfriend and I have a boyfriend. A movie, I think. So wait, okay, brother's complaining to his rich sister about not having enough money because of his girlfriend. I understand what that's saying. I just don't understand why she included that word about her having a boyfriend. Because it's like, I don't know. I don't know what that part has to do with it. But yeah, no, I mean, I get that. But also, I just want to make like very clear. I will give money and help my partner if it's a partnership, but that's long term down the road. Um, that's like probably years of dating down the road. Um, and I'm not sure why I would want to date somebody who prostitutes themselves for food. Um, that's not an attractive quality. Angels Among Us 214 says, I lasted 1 week on Bumble. Too crazy. Got tired of boring convos. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably guilty of that. I think my convos are probably boring. I like to talk and get to know people, and it usually goes one of two ways. Either they have no interest in doing that, and then that just dies off. And that's where I suspect that you're saying it's boring. The other side of that is they have no interest in doing that, and they want to meet up immediately, which sometimes I can be okay with, because then, if we do that, then, well, okay, I guess we find out in person if we can talk. But also, the most common thing that happens to me on Bumble is that I match with a girl and she never reaches out. That's like the whole point of Bumble. I mean, Bumble in itself is just completely flawed because like women, for the most part, wait for men to make the first move. But the whole point of Bumble is that women have to make the first move, and the men, they literally can't. But then they don't. So you get all these matches, and then the girl never messages you. We Were About to Die Salute You says, I find that the peanut butter flatbreads, or the flatbreads in general, are the most filling. The wrap way overpriced in small portions. Yeah, I agree. I think I've had each of the wraps once, and they were just okay. But I do like the sides, the jalapeno corn and the maple glazed sweet potatoes. I'm trying to think. There's some other breakfast item I've had. But yeah, there's one here. It's like a mile and a half that way. It's inside the mall food court. So even with the crotchety car, I could probably get there if I wanted to. Kay says, because she is rich. I think you're talking about that movie quote. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't really understand that. But We Were About to Die Salute You says, girl gets her wealth from the guy. The little brother should have realized that he needs to be rich to get a gal and not be broke. Honestly, a guy wants to commute by being in bed. A gal just wants verbal conversation. Okay, so I don't match up with that. Maybe that's something that's going to make dating really hard for me. I mean, I'm not broke now. I mean, I do have a lot of past debt to pay off, but like monthly expenses, what I make now far exceeds those. I mean, I kind of joked before that like I'll tell a girl like, oh yeah, I have my own place. I was like, but I have 77 roommates, and and it's actually really been interesting. Only one person has blocked me from saying that. But besides being blocked that one time, the response has actually been pretty good. Every girl has said, oh, like we just hang out at my place or whatever. Now, it never actually happens. Like I never actually go that far to even go on a date with these girls, but when it comes up about like, you know, oh, I just moved to town. They're like, oh, where are you living? And I'm like, well, I'm actually a house director. Um, but um, but yeah, because you know, in my experience, it's usually like the girls expect the guy to have a place, and then the girls live at home with their parents or whatever, and don't contribute anything or bring anything to the table. And it's actually weird here. I've had like I just tell them, oh, like yeah, I have my own apartment. It's like a private apartment, but I have 77 roommates. And after I explain, you know, I work at the university, they're like, oh, okay, well, I actually have my own place. Like, um, so it's kind of a unexpected workaround, I think. But okay, so I wanted to explain what I meant there. So you said, honestly, a guy wants to communicate by being in bed. A gal just wants verbal communication. So in my last relationship, you all know which one I'm talking about. That girl did not want to communicate ever. So that definitely doesn't apply to her. Um, and by communicate, I don't mean talk. I mean like, you know, like communicate, like as far as relationships. Um, just trying to figure out where that screaming's coming from. Um, but yeah, the other part of that is honestly, a guy just wants to communicate by being in bed. That's not me. I mean, like, I use words. Uh, I can do that. I know that's like a foreign language for a guy, but I can do it. And also, sex is not that important to me, which you guys will find out about when I make that series of videos, because I'm going to talk a lot about that in there. Like, a lot. That comes up a lot. And you guys are going to see, like, I don't know, maybe more of my values or something. But I do think that's causing me some kinds of problems in dating, because I think girls are like, they think that all guys are the same, and they won't consider that like some of us are different. That like maybe different guys want different things. I think there's like a standard that they just think is normal for all guys, and then when you don't match up to that, they're just like, that this is weird. We were about to die, Salute You says, but yet the gals in the frat house do not care if there are 76 other roommates, or counting you, 77. Gals that the frat brothers bring to the house. Well, okay, so no, the college girls that come over here, they don't care. No. No, they don't care. I mean, but they're also in college. They probably live in a dorm, or they're probably in a sorority in the same setup as this. So no, you're good. Like I completely agree that like they don't really care. Now, would they care about me? I don't think a 20-year-old girl is going to date me. And I'm not taking that off the table. But I would also have to be like, okay, are we gonna have anything in common? Like we are gonna enjoy any of the same things? But I don't know. So so I don't know about that. But I mean, yeah, we have girls over. There were a bunch of girls in here last night. Okay, we were about to salute you. There is your viral video, Mark. We got it out of him, Case. And Case says, yep, more red pill. Okay, well, let me ask you guys this, because I have a feeling that after this video uploads, and people are watching it back, there's probably going to be some negative comments about some of the relationship type stuff that I've said today. So I'm not sure how people are going to take things that I've said. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a red pill channel. For one, I'm not even entirely sure what red pill means. but also that's just like not really what I'm trying to do here. Um, but I will tell you that when I make that series of videos about the girl, a lot of the stuff that comes up is along the lines of the stuff that we're talking about now. Um, I don't look at it as red pill. I just look at it as I finally grew some balls and stood up for myself. Um, but you know, you just think that the extent to which I had to be mistreated in order for that to happen, to get to that point. So I make this channel about dating or like male female dynamics or uh, like hating women or anything like that. I just, you know, the channel's about my life and there's stuff going on. And yeah, if I start dating and maybe if I have a series of weird dates, maybe I can make like a story time video about it. But that's hard for a guy to do. Because quite frankly, as a guy, like we just don't get all that many matches. It's not like a girl inbox is constantly full. Um, you know, there's not as many opportunities to have weird dates. Yeah, and we're about to die slowly. You're right. And like, there's no hatred behind it. I I think a lot of people will take it that way. But I do have. I want to say I have high standards. I don't know that that's exactly true. I have standards, and for a man, those are very high standards. I am disgusted by a lot of the stuff that I see guys do because, you know, like you've got all these guys just, you look over, oh my God, Instagram or anything, and these guys just have no respect for themselves. These women are never going to respond, and they, you know, they're just simping over all these girls online, and I mean, it's no wonder women think they can treat us however they want to, because I think most guys they can. John just popped on. Nah, you're good, man. I didn't even announce the stream until just a few minutes before I started. I've been super busy with stuff, so it is totally fine. I am guessing John is in Australia, but we'll let him answer. We were about to die salute you was asking where he's at. But yeah, I think I remember maybe Australia. Okay, well, as we've got to the end of the comments for now, I'm gonna go over the goals from last month. So you guys remember in the, I believe the June live stream, I started setting goals for the for the following month, and then going over the previous goals. So I wrote them down. The first goal was to get my apartment cleaned and the furniture sorted out. Well, as you guys probably know, if you watched the first half of the stream, I did not get my apartment cleaned, but I did part of it cleaned. We had cleaners come in, they cleaned the bathroom. Now, they did like a meh job, but it's more usable now. I'm gonna have, we got like a situation with the cleaners here. We're hiring a new set of cleaners. I'm gonna have them go do a second part of that. They are also, they're gonna shampoo the carpets in here, which was never a thing before, so that's gonna be great. And with the furniture sorted out part, that was meaning all the furniture that was left here that wasn't supposed to be here and I didn't know what to do with it, I wanted to have done something with that. I made progress with that in the sense that I took those beds out of here and I gave them to the guys because some of the guys didn't have beds. So now that those are out, I found out how truly disgusting it is around the corners of where the beds were. So I'm gonna have that cleaned up, and I gotta do that before they come in and do the carpet cleaning. But the bathroom will be double cleaned, and then I can go back in and do my super cleaning, because when I clean, it is immaculate. I was in there scrubbing the the base of where like the thing flicks for the light switch with the Q-tip earlier, if that gives you guys an idea of how clean things are in my apartment. And then yeah, so after that's done, I can do more about this furniture in here, and I can start ordering my furniture. So probably about a month from now, I'm gonna order that bed I want. So after it's clean, then I can start putting my furniture in. So that's the first goal, and so for both parts of that, the apartment cleaned and furniture sorted out, not done, but some progress made. For the second one, the Ipsos ScreenWise router. It's a whole backstory that it's not worth the time to recount, but I had this router that I had to mail back to this company, and they have been haranguing me about it for months. I finally got it done. I finally found the damn thing when I got back and looked in the storage unit. I had the box with me. Then I couldn't mail it back because I couldn't go to the FedEx store to mail it out because I didn't have a car. So finally, just yesterday, I boxed everything up and I mailed it out. So that's done. And that means that, well, it's one box out of the storage unit and it's one box out of my apartment. So one more thing that I don't have to worry about. And if you guys have a lot better memory than me, you might remember that I could not, for the life of me, I came up with the third goal and then forgot it during the stream. So I thought about it later, and the third goal was to get the car cleaned out. And that is also another one that's just like meh, kind of. So that kind of happened. I got the back seats were all folded like forward because I'd been sleeping in there and they'd been like that for months. I got the car to the point where everything is pulled out from where I was living in there to the point the seats are folded up, the back seats are cleaned. I would say most of the passenger seat is cleaned out. And that all the rest of the stuff fits in just the hatch. So not everything's, but most things. And the rest of it can't come in until I get this apartment cleaned. So then I can, for example, like hang up the coats because that's what's taking the most space in there. And I did also have my Eclipse glasses still, and just yesterday I mailed them off to the recycling center. So, because there's like a special place to send those to. So that's another thing out of the car. So I made, again, the goal, didn't get it accomplished, but I made progress on it. So before I move on to setting goals for September, just a review at the end of the live stream, I'm going to tell you guys some stuff I actually accomplished this month. And in the meantime, maybe come up with some suggestions of goals because I haven't thought of any for this month yet. So, okay. So looking at this month and what I got accomplished, well, I have the materials now to try to fix the car, assuming that the oil is the problem. I mean, I don't know what made the oil explode, but at least hopefully putting it back in there will drive the car. I have gotten a good chunk of the laundry done, so I've been wearing more clean clothes, which is always a good thing. Let's see. I've taken care of a few tabs on the computer. And in fact, one of the big windows that was up was me wanting to watch the Olympic opening ceremonies. You couldn't find those anywhere online, even on the Pirate Bay. Couldn't find it at all. And then subbed up on YouTube yesterday. So I'm about halfway through watching that. I mean, I can take an entire window off of the million windows I have open on my computer. So I'm working on digital clutter too. I have written my letter to Planet Fitness to cancel my membership because, well, I don't need that anymore. And maybe someday in the future I'll start being ready to go to the gym again, but not right now. So we're going to save some money doing this. What else? I built my website. I mean, a lot of it was already done, but I finished, for the most part, building the website for my furniture assembly company, and it's published now. It is live, and I bought a custom domain. So I only paid for a year so far, but so that is live. I have a guy interested in Louisville to possibly do some work if I can get him some leads down there. So Louisville location. Also, what else? I found somebody that's going to help set up my Google My Business profile because there's like an issue with it that I ran into. The Yahoo profile should be set up by Monday. And I've started my postcard marketing. Well, I've got the campaign set up. I got to get $900 and some together to get them printed. And then what else? I signed up for Zipcar. So now if I need it, I have access 24 hours a day to a rental car that I can just go somewhere. And that means that I can go out and do furniture assembly jobs, even if it means it's up in Indianapolis. So, so that's a positive as well. And what else? I know I'm missing a ton of things. And a lot of them are just like job related. You guys don't care about things I got fixed around here. But yeah, a lot of this is finally getting done. Very important thing. There's a pile over here, 2020 and 2021. I found my 2021 tax papers, at least most of them. There's still some stuff to sleuth out, but I found them. And I also have all my 2023 tax papers, which I'm pretty sure are all together ready to go. So we are getting things in motion to go back and file my taxes. Yeah, so I'm nowhere near ready to start on those projects yet, but I'm getting them organized. I'm finding all the documents I need. Also, I found all the paperwork I need to go back and collect a deposit from a landlord from 3 years ago, that just never returned my deposit. So that's a little project I've got on the side, and found all the paperwork I need to go after that. So that'll be something I do as well. Case says you can do a series on how to deal with lawsuits for men and domestic lawsuits, how to get lawyers and help, the procedures, outcomes, durations, etc., etc. I could do that. I'm really hesitant to do it because I know how negatively that's going to be taken. Like I don't feel comfortable speaking up about it. Like, I know I'm going to tell my story, but that aspect of it, all that legal stuff, is going to be buried like multiple chapters deep, and only people that are coming for the story time are going to see all that. It's going to draw so much hate, and I shouldn't be afraid, because I am afraid, and I'm saying that right now. I'm afraid of the backlash and the hate that I'm going to get for speaking against what people want to believe. And if I ever did do that, I would make a separate channel for it. I wouldn't make that the focus of this channel. But if there is anybody out there looking for that, there is a guy that I would look for. He's called The Proper Person. He has a YouTube channel, and he helps with a lot of that stuff. And it's kind of a play on words, because pro per, in pro per, for pro se, they're Latin phrases, but it essentially means that you're representing yourself in court. So proper person, pro per person. Case says negative is what sells as viral. Tommy jaywalking is not going to be on the headline as opposed to a city being bombed. Well, I mean, I do have some, like, okay, I'm just going to throw this title out there because this is something I've worked on the back end. I have a whole note on my phone of points to make. And I feel like this video is going to get a lot of pushback. And I do think that it's going to be seen as negative, but it's not meant to be. It's just I have a different opinion than the majority. But one thing that I want to put out there, and normally I don't just throw out video titles because like I would like for it to be a surprise. But this is I've been working for years on a video concept called "Why You Shouldn't Go to Community College." Because like, if you look into that online, it seems like it's 100% positive. Yes, community college is like the solution to everything, and that's where you like that's the option. But I went to community college for 2 years because my parents forced me to, and maybe there were some good aspects of it, but I feel like I need to talk about the good aspects because that's all that's ever talked about. But there are bad aspects too, and you need to be aware of those. Going to community college actually caused some problems and complications and actually contributed significantly to my student loan debt. And so that title of why you shouldn't go to community college, I think is going to bring in a lot of controversy. Because it's something where it seems like almost everyone is of this one opinion, and then here I am like stating a different, it's like opposition to that. But see, like, I actually don't know how that video is going to be accepted because there's a video on the channel here talking about the West Virginia impact something. I forget what the name of it is. But being from West Virginia, I made a video about student aid, and I was critical of a new policy that came into effect, and people hated the video. It's one of my few videos, I think, that has more downvotes than upvotes. I mean, all I did is I read the policy and I shared the concerns and what I thought would be the negative outcomes of it, and everyone hated it. There's also another video called Why I Didn't Go to WVU, because I had a bad experience. Well, everybody loves WVU, and here I am making a video, saying, well, I didn't have a good experience there. And people hated it. Again, it has more votes than upvotes. And neither of those videos that were unpopular got me subscribers. Like, they didn't go viral. So, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm just saying it didn't in those instances. Now, I do think, I've told you guys this for a long time, but I want to be very well researched when I do it. Like, so that it's like basically unassailable. But I eventually, when I get my life more together, I am going to make a video about why I don't follow Dave Ramsey and follow through, like go through each step of the baby steps and say like, what the issue is and applying it to myself and why it doesn't make sense. And then of course I will talk about how his followers for like years brigaded my channel and were just horrible. But yeah, like that I guess is maybe kind of the type of video that you're thinking. Anyway, as far as goals for coming month, nobody has posted anything in the comments, so I'm not sure if you guys don't have any ideas, but my first that I thought of is I need to set my appointment to get my teeth cleaned. And well, just to go to the dentist, basically. This is just me getting back on track in my life. And I'm gonna go to the dentist I've been going to for years, back in Ohio. I'm gonna go back over Christmas break, at least for a week. And I'll do it during that trip. But I need to go ahead and set the appointment in advance. And because it's been so long, I'm gonna have to do x-rays and cleaning. Probably won't have money to do whitening, but I badly need it. And I may have cavities, and if I do, I'm probably gonna have to get fillings. But that would be my first goal, is just to get set up, to get that appointment made, because I know if I get to the point that I make the appointment, then I can plan for it, have the money available, and actually get myself there when the time comes. The problem with I never meant to like let my whole oral hygiene go. It's just, and here I am wearing my orthodontist shirt. But what happened was I had my appointment set for April 2020. And I think we all know what happened then. So they called and canceled. And then, if I remember right, they set another appointment, or they wanted to set another appointment for another 6 months out or something. And I can't remember how or why, but that didn't work out. And then I just like never heard from them ever again. So yeah, COVID got me off track, and I need to get back on track. So setting the dentist appointment for over winter break is going to be my first goal for September to accomplish. And I don't know. I like to announce these on here, but I don't have anything like right on my mind. I've got so much I got to do, but things that actually stand out as these big goals, I'm not sure. So you guys, whether you're watching it now or whether you watch it back later on the replay, let me know what you think would be a couple more good goals for me to accomplish in my personal life this month to get myself back on track. That's the kind of thing I'm focusing on. Okay. Oh, hey, they finally added the poll option back. I don't have anything to ask like that right now, but it's good we have that. On anyone, participant mode. Sorry guys, I'm looking at the options. Okay, so one other thing we can do is, it looks like we didn't get brigaded today, but but there is also the option where I can turn on that the only people that can comment are people that have been subscribed for like a certain amount of time. So that's also an option if we need that. Hey Sandra, yeah, I didn't post, like I didn't set up the live stream until just like right before I went live. This is actually the August live stream. It's just, it should have been last week, and I had work meetings, so moved it to this week. I figured since September has an extra week, I can do it this day, and then we'll do the last Sunday in September, and then that way it's 4 weeks between this one and the next one. It's just September has like an extra Sunday in it. All right. Well, guys, we've been on for... What time did I start? We've been on for 3 hours? Okay. Doesn't seem like it. But, all right, well, it looks like slowed down, but I can't think of anything else to add. I'll have to sit and think about these goals and what else I need to add to them. But in the meantime, like, yeah, I'm going to, outside of the goals, just be working on getting my shit together. All I can say is just I'll do my best to get some videos up this month, and I think I will, despite everything else going on around. So there'll be some content, and then the last Sunday of September, we'll do this again, where we can just sit and hang out. And in the meantime, I will try to see if there's any way to horizontal live stream. But if not, we'll do it like this from now on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if anyone has any other questions, when this re-uploads and it's on replay, you guys can put it in the comments there. I always read those. And otherwise, I will really, really try, maybe that should just be one of my goals, to get those other 3 videos up this month. They will all launch the same day because they're all on the same topic. And then we'll do the live stream again at the last Sunday of September. All right, there's no more comments. Everybody's logging off, so I will log off as well, and I will see you guys then.